Hey guys, Rhett here. What is going on? Thanks for watching. I wanted to talk about a question that I see all the time on Reddit and Bigger Pockets, which is Section 8 real estate investing more profitable than regular cash tenant rental property investing? And they're totally different. And depending on where you're buying and where you're investing, one of them might make more sense and the other one might make more sense to you in your personal situation. I'll use Nashville, Tennessee, for example, where I'm making this video right now. In Nashville, it doesn't make sense to do Section 8 inside of city limits because the properties are so expensive. The return you'll get for a voucher doesn't match what you'll get for a regular cash paying tenant. So in areas that are big tourist destinations, very, very expensive, it might not make sense to invest in Section 8 and put a Section 8 tenant in your house. But in markets across the country that are more distressed, more underserved, where property values are a lot less, Section 8 is without question the more profitable option, and the rate of return is a lot better on our money. For example, I could buy $1 million house here in Nashville and rent it out to a tenant, a cash-paying tenant here for $5,000 a month. Barely break even on the mortgage at current rates at 7%. I could buy a property in a distressed, underserved area in the Southeast or in the Midwest and do Section 8, spend 1/10 of that amount of money. So literally spend $100,000 or less on a rental property and get somebody in one of those units for $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month in rent. So it's not a relative change at all. And that is extremely, extremely important to consider when deciding where your investment dollars are going to go. With Section 8, of course, the program's a lot different. Cash tenants, there's higher turnover. There's no protections in place. A lot of times if we're looking at solely investing in areas for cash tenants, we're most likely in the current debt environment, we're not going to be able to cash flow positively. That's the number one problem that people face when they go to buy rental property. The number one way that people are profitable in cash rental properties right now in 2026 that are new rental properties, new on market over the last 3 years, is it's because it's somebody's personal house that they bought at a lower interest rate. Now they're buying another house. They don't want to sell it, so they're turning it into a rental, and it'll cash flow positively because they got a 2 or 3% interest rate in 2020 or 2021. That's why people are profitable right now in residential rental properties. If you don't already have a home at 2 or 3%, you're going to have a really, really tough time finding a good cash tenant for it. So comparing cash tenants and Section 8 tenants, you're comparing apples and oranges. Now, let's talk for a minute about comparing cash tenants and Section 8 tenants in the same markets where you're buying a unit for $100,000, then it's not even comparable. If we're buying a unit for $100,000 and we have the opportunity to put a cash tenant in there with no protections that we know that historically has a much higher turnover rate than a Section 8 tenant, why would we not want to put a Section 8 tenant in there, especially in some of these markets where Section 8 tenants are paying and HUD is paying above fair market rent for a lot of these units? A cash tenant might only pay $800 a month, but Section 8 might pay $1,200, $1,300 a month for that same unit. So understanding that there are so many pros versus a cash tenant. Now, a cash tenant moves in, say they're renting a unit for $1,000. Now let's assume that both tenants are paying the same amount of money. So cash tenant moves in, they're paying $1,000 a month for the unit. Section 8 tenant moves in, they're paying $1,000 a month for the unit. If a Section 8 tenant destroys the unit, we have recourse. We can go after that tenant. We can go after their voucher. They lose their voucher forever. And in that instance, they have a ton to lose. If a cash tenant moves in, a cash tenant might already have 3 or 4 evictions on their background check, on their credit check. What's going to happen to them? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen to them if they trash our units. We're going to have to file a lawsuit. Odds are they don't have any money anyway, and we're going to get nothing but a damaged, destroyed unit out of it. So it's extremely important to consider when you're comparing Section 8 and cash in the same markets that you're comparing the two tenants and the two programs, whether it's cash and there is no program. The only thing that tenant has to lose is a security deposit. Or with Section 8 tenants, we require our Section 8 tenants to always bring security deposits to the table. In that instance, we do have recourse through Section 8, but our Section 8 tenants stay for such a long period of time that even turnover costs over a 10 to 20 year period, they're non-existent. Now, with a cash tenant, assume that you have a cash tenant stays in there for an average occupancy of a year and a half. Every year and a half, you might be spending $1,000, $2,000 to turn over that unit. Over a 10 to 20 year period, that's tens of thousands of dollars in just turnover costs. How many years of cash flow is that erasing versus that Section 8 tenant that's staying there in that unit that you're able to keep that money in your pocket? And then, of course, the most important piece to this entire thing is the guaranteed rent. That Section 8 money is coming in every single month, whether you think about it or not. You don't have to worry about reaching out to the tenant. Hey, where's the money this month? What's going on? Oh, my engine broke down. Oh, I lost my job. You never have to worry about that. That Section 8 money is guaranteed. That cash money is not guaranteed. Now, I have clients who put a unit on market. We're looking for a Section 8 tenant. A cash tenant applies. They might have a great job. Maybe they work at Amazon in a distribution center. They've been there for 10 years. They're now a supervisor, and they want to live in that house because it's close to their work. Will we take them? If the client wants to take them, absolutely. No question. We'll take the best people that we want for the units. But when comparing the overwhelming tenant base that we're choosing from in a lot of the areas we're buying $70, $80, $90, $100,000 houses, Section 8 makes the most amount of sense. The rent is better. The rent is guaranteed. The rate of return is considerably better because the amount of money we get paid every month is higher than what a cash tenant will pay. And we can breathe. We don't have to worry about tenants destroying units. We don't have to worry about tenants not making rent. So it creates a really, really good environment for us as landlords, for us as property managers, and for us as investors, knowing our investment is safe, and we're also getting inspections from Section 8. So Section 8's coming to do inspections. If there are problems with the units that we're not seeing, they're going to let us know, hey, you might want to check on this. Hey, you've got buildup in the gutters. Let's get that taken care of. It gives us that transparency to understand, hey, we can get rid of that before it turns into a big problem. So there's a lot of transparency in that process too. If we have a cash tenant, they might never tell us what's going on. The unit might get destroyed. We might not know about it, right? And it could cause us a lot more damages and costs over the long term. So when comparing cash tenants to Section 8 tenants, it is absolutely not even a question which one is better. If you guys want to build a Section 8 portfolio and you don't even know where to start, send me an email, which is in the description below. Let's get you started. Let's start building. We'll see you next time.